Well, we are back. Welcome to the Nate Real Midwest. I am doing both lives today on another streaming platform and Spotify. We're gonna talk about this big deal that's going on right now across Minnesota. And if you guys have been keeping up with the Minnesota governor, he decided to go on tour. Now, when I'm talking about tour, he just decided to go on tour so bad that he decided to go to Des Moines, Iowa. And this is what his excuse said. His excuse says that the Republican Party in Des Moines, Iowa, that is not holding their town halls. Well, Mr. Governor, let me tell you, you work for the state of Minnesota. You don't work for Iowa. And if you are leaving the state of Minnesota to go to Iowa, we have a problem. Okay? Your duty is to the Minnesota people. Yes, you've raised our taxes skyrocketing high 9.9%, and you're just marching out so fast like this. This doesn't make sense. You're forgetting Minnesota and you're just traveling the nation just because you're making an excuse for Iowa. If that does not bring in fraud and corruption of this governor, and we're paying for this thing, this is who the Minnesota people voted for, a governor to travel and not care for his own state. Let me make something real clear about why I do this podcast is because I find out the craziest things that people are not going to believe. Go look it up. He's going to a town hall in Des Moines, Iowa. They're probably going to see this town hall in Des Moines, Iowa and be thinking, this is going to be all over the Minnesota House of Representatives. This is going to be all over what they're going to be talking about. This is going to be all over what they're going to be saying. It's going to be all over of what they are going to get on doing. Minnesota House of Representatives are going to be talking about this on the Republican side. The Democrat people of the Minnesota House of Republicans or the Minnesota Democrats are going to be, they're not going to talk about it at all. They're not going to talk about something like this and keep it going for at least idea. If the Minnesota Democrats don't bring this up and hold their governor accountable, because us Republicans are holding our governor accountable, and they decide that we're not going to hold our governor accountable, we are going to raise hell like crazy. We're going to be calling for an impeachment so bad that we're going to have to get it passed through the Senate. The Senate has to agree on the bipartisan impeachment bill. Yeah, the Senate is taken over by the Democrats, excuse me. It should have been a tie, 33-33. They should have had the special election in November. But the Democrats are so tied with the Republicans in the House. And what is going on is that our governor is leaving the state of Minnesota while Minnesota is in a 9.9 income tax, okay? Let's not forget all the other stuff they're taxing us up the roof. Property taxes are skyrocketing high here in the state of Minnesota. And our governor is traveling to Des Moines, Iowa. Des Moines, Iowa. Power sharing in the House? I don't think we're going to have power sharing in the House if these Democrats are going to say it's okay for Governor Walz to leave his 537 million people that live in the state of Minnesota to represent. I'm going to put this, while we face a defect, and I'm going to put this so clearly out there, we're facing such a defect in the state of Minnesota that when he's leaving with all this corruption we have in this state, tells you what is going. Another idea of a CNN article that came out announces that he would be on tour, but I didn't know that he was going to be going to our next door neighbor, Iowa. He put on the bottom of that article says, I will be ready to win this in 2028. If that is not the announcement for his candidacy for 2028, Tim Walz just announced that he's running for president in 2028 and starting his campaign 3 years earlier just to get out there and get out to the votes and stuff. It's so interesting when people are getting out to the votes and he's leaving the state of Minnesota. When the time comes and when we're going to get out there and get our stuff out there, we will vote. We're going to vote you out in 2026. Be happy. This is enough. You are not taking care. Ron DeSantis would never go to a town hall meeting out of state. My questions to the Minnesota people that are in here and live in Minnesota, how is this how is this okay? When are we taking the idea of a governor that is deciding to travel the United States while Minnesota is in a $6 billion deficit? And our governor says, oops, I have to go to Iowa and speak at a town hall meeting because Republicans won't hold their own town hall meetings. No, because they're in session, Walz. That's not an excuse. They're in session. The Iowa Senate and House are in session like we are in session. We are in session. You need to do your duty. No wonder why you're not holding press conference. No wonder why you're doing a lot of news articles and trying to be on the spotlight, because the embarrassment that you put the Minnesota people in and the stuff that came out about you when you were a teacher, we don't have to go down that rabbit hole, but we could, tells me that you really don't care about the Minnesota people. You are leaving the state and going out on a system to go to Republican areas in the state of Iowa. Iowa will kick you out so bad. I'm just laughing at how bad Iowa is and how bad it's getting, because if Iowa really thinks if Des Moines, Iowa really thinks that they're going to get this, they're going to get our governor, and they want our governor to speak to non-Republicans, first of all, Iowa governor should say, no, you ain't coming to our state. You're not an Iowa. Wait a second. Hold it, stop. Okay. First of all, he has no right to do that because he's not an Iowa citizen. He can't just speak at a town hall meeting. A Republican. So you're trying to switch the Republicans there to Democrat just because of you? Oh, it doesn't work that way. Iowa people are too smart. They know what's going up in Minnesota. Iowa people are too smart for them to think that you could come down. I really hope they kick him out. I just am so excited to see what's going to happen. He's wrapping up for his president run and thinks that Republicans are going to vote for him, and he's going to start spreading all this bullcrap. Oh my gosh. I love you, Walz, but I do not love you, Walz. I do not. Don't the Minnesota people love him? The people who voted for these people are just ramping up these ideas in the state of Minnesota and finding this, oh, I'm going to go to Des Moines, Iowa, just because I'm going to leave Minnesota in a ideal rabbit hole. How do you do this as a governor of Minnesota decided, oh, sorry, Minnesota people, I'm going to Iowa. I'm going to campaign in Iowa. First of all, you can't go to the town hall meeting in Iowa. I don't really think it's a town hall meeting. I think it's an excuse that you can leave the state of Minnesota. It's an excuse that, oh, I don't want to be governor. If you didn't want to be governor no more, why did you run? Why did you run? That's my question. Second of all, let's get back into some news on the federal government level. Democrats are losing their majority of their percentages. Their approval rating is 21%. One Democrat, censored Al Green, is agreeing with Donald J. Trump and might be switching to the Republican Party in the House of Representatives because he wants to work with she wants to work with President Trump on the SALT tax. That is in New York City. She flipped a seat, and the reddest thing in the reddest part of New York, and flipped that blue. I don't know how that is happening in the state of New York. I think New Yorkers are sick and tired of our governor, their governor. They're more like the people that are coming down and just getting constituent stuff. I mean, if we really look at this stuff, people are so proud of what is happening, of all these Democratic people that are so blinded by what's really happening and what these Democrat people have done for the Minnesota. If they were really for America, why were people struggling to get their groceries? That's what I want to know. It is breaking news across that system that happened, but I am really excited to see what is going to happen on that town hall not Mariv, that town hall meeting in Des Moines, Iowa. Town hall Mariv sounds really great because it's going to be a mayhem of stupidity in Iowa. What's up, you guys? Um, uh, let's just take a moment to know that while I'm doing a podcast and I'm thinking about these answers that I have to give you guys, I'm just thinking to myself, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy that our governor is going to Iowa. He's the governor of Minnesota. I don't think he's the governor of Iowa. Now, let me make something for sure about this. We'll just get Keith Ellison out for allowing to have this. We'll impeach the lieutenant governor and we'll impeach Walz. We'll put articles from, you know what? Worse, we'll have the citizens recall him. We'll have the citizens recall him. We'll have the Minnesota people will recall him because he's going down to Iowa, not doing his job for the state of Minnesota, and he's really making it look like that this is okay. We're going to recall this person, and Walz doesn't own Iowa. Iowa is not his state, and we're not going to have somebody like him decided, you know what, I'm going to leave the state of Minnesota. You guys are just fine. The Republicans have the House, and the Democrats have the Senate. And I'm going to leave. I'm just going to leave. I'm going to go on my tour bus. I don't care if I'm taking the taxpayers' money with me. I'm just going to leave. Guys, is that who we voted for governor? Oh, everybody wants to know about the ethics committee. Ooh, everybody's asking me about the ethics committee. Hold on. Let me tell you about the ethics committee. I did not see it, but I am doing some research that it might go to the federal government. Now, if that goes to the federal government, yeah, watch and wow. If you're going to say watch and wow, people, if that goes to the federal government, she's automatically out. Out. And that means it would lead to a tie 33-33, 67-67, 33-33. So, but now with the Shakopee case, that might be illegitimate out. And that would lead to 68-66, and the Republicans would gain a seat, 68-66, and it would go back. The Republicans would have control of the House, and then the Senate would be 33-33. Tabarrok is not a representative. He cheated himself in there. He cheated. That was a cheat. 20 votes went missing. That's a cheat. That's cheating. Cheaters don't get a seat in the White House or in a state House of Representatives. That was cheating. He cheated. He's a cheater, and he knows it. He's literally a cheater congressman, a state congressman. He cheated. He's a state cheater House congressman. He cheated. He definitely cheated. And if people don't think that the Democrats cheat, Democrats do cheat. Now, let's wrap this thing up with some closing points. I am curious if everybody is going to watch the Iowan town hall meeting and see what the Democrats are going to say. Well, that is the Nate Real Midwest podcast. I hope you guys enjoy it. Like I said, it will be on Spotify later today, and it will be uploaded. Thank you guys for joining me live and live on my other streaming platforms. I'll see you guys on the flip side.